So today, welcome. My name is Lori, and we're going to work on hips, opening up the hips and the core. So let's start an easy pose. And if you want to straighten out your legs, that's fine. Just nice and tall spine, shoulders over hips, and start from the base, being right on top of the sit bones, and work your way up, thinking, are your ribs over your hips, shoulders over ribs, ears in line with the shoulders. And just start to notice your breath. Notice the breath coming in, breath going out. Notice where you feel your breath. Do you feel it in your chest? Nose, throat, belly, back? Where do you feel your breath? Is there any rhythm to the breath? Or maybe it's a little erratic still, been running around. Just notice what's there. Don't try to do anything special, just noticing what's there. Feeling grounded with those sit bones, anchored, lengthened with the spine. Nice even breath in and out. Maybe try breathing in and out through your nose, just a nice even breath. Let's go ahead and turn the palms up, arms out to the side. Let's bring the arms out and overhead. Take a breath in, and then palms down, exhale. Let's try that a few times. Bringing the arms overhead, reaching out to the sides, palms down, exhale. So following the rhythm of your breath here. If it bothers your shoulders to reach all the way overhead, just go up as far as it feels right to you until your shoulders will open up a little bit more. Go ahead and bring the arms overhead and take a breath in. And we'll exhale to the right. So going directly side. Try to line up the shoulders the best you can. And if it bothers your shoulder, you can bring your elbow, bend your elbow, bring your head behind your hand behind your head or back to your hip. Just do what's right for your shoulders. You don't want to be in pain. And if you're coming in with pain, you don't want to aggravate what you already have going on. Bring the arms overhead. Take a breath in. And we'll go to the left. Exhale. And if you're extending that arm next to the ear, really reach through the fingers. And bring the arms overhead. Take a breath in. We're going to twist to the right. So left hand on right knee, right hand behind. So start from the bottom first and exhale. Belly, ribs, chest, shoulders, and then the head. If it bothers your neck to look over your shoulders, just look to the side. Grip your fingers. Tall spine. And bring the arms overhead, take a breath in. And we'll go to the left, exhale. Belly, ribs, chest, shoulder, head. Notice where you feel any resistance in the body. That's where you're going to try to imagine the breath is there. Softening, letting go. And let that go. Bring the hands behind, point the fingers behind, and take a breath in. Belly, ribs, chest, open the heart towards the sky. Bring the shoulder blades towards one another. Take some deep breaths here. In and out through your nose, belly to throat. might pause at the top of the breath for a moment. And exhale, pause at the bottom of the breath for a moment. Just for a moment. This is a good pose for building a deep breath, so take some deep breaths here. Let that go. And then just come forward, and we're just going to reach forward and round over around the shoulders, look in your lap, chin towards your chest. Notice where you feel, what you feel. Is there any difference in one hip or the other? Trying to notice those differences. Breathe, adjust yourself. All right, let that go. And then let's try it on the other side. So we're just going to take the left foot in front and bring the arms overhead. Take a breath in and a breath out. Follow your breath. Expand the belly, expand the ribs, breathe into the heart center. Now take the arms overhead, take a breath in, and we'll go to the left. Exhale. Remember, we want to try to line those shoulders up, so just go to that place directly side. Knit your ribs so you're not into a barreled chest. And let that go. Bring the arms overhead, take a breath in, and then we'll go to the left. Exhale. To the right, to the right. Exhale. Let that go. Bring the arms overhead. We're going to twist to the left this time. Right hand on left knee, left hand behind. Exhale on the twist. Starting at the bottom to the top. Don't try to force anything. If you feel any pinpointed sensations or dull, achy sensations in the joint, you're going to back up the truck here. Arms overhead, take a breath in, and we'll go to the left, to the right. I can't get my left and right, so we're going to the right. Left hand on right knee and twisting to the right. And let that go. Bring the fingers behind, point the fingers behind, take a breath in, belly, ribs, open the heart towards the sky. Big breath. We're opening up the heart chakra here. Love, kindness, openness. And let that go. And then just round over, coming forward now. Round the shoulders, looking into the lap, chin towards the chest. Rounding the shoulders, rounding the back. That go. All right, so let's go ahead and bring the legs out wide for a straddle stretch. So just come to a place where you feel comfortable here. Toes are pointed towards the ceiling. So if you want to, you can walk your hands out. We're lengthening the spine. We're going to that first edge where we feel the body says to stop. If you wanted to have your hands on your shins, you could. Lifting the chest. So we're not rounding now. We're lengthening the spine, lifting the chest. Give it a few breaths. Toes flex, pointed towards the ceiling. Notice where you feel. What do you feel? Breathe into the tight places. So we're lengthening the spine, not rounding the shoulders right now. If you want to maybe walk it out a little bit more. See where you are. Long spine. If you need to bend your knees a little bit, that's fine. You can always bend your knees. Just flex your toes. Point the toes towards the ceiling. Go ahead and bend your right knee, bring it in, and your left knee, bring it in. And we're going to go onto our hands and knees. So in table pose here, hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, creases of your elbows face each other so you don't lock out your arms. We're going to take the right leg back, tuck the toes, and left arm forward, thumb up. So we're going to hold this for a moment. If you want to lift the leg up, you could. Flex that foot, toe pointed down, hip is down. And we're just going to hold this for a few breaths. Keeping the hips in line, shoulders in line. Now go ahead, we're going to round now. Tuck the chin, round. Exhale, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Last one here. Inhale, lengthen, and we'll take out arms, leg out to the side. So left arm out, that left diagonal, right leg back, right diagonal, and then back to center. And let's do child pose in between, knees wide, big toes together. Set your hips back toward your heels. Anytime you need to come to this pose, this is a good, very relaxing pose. If you need a little rest, stretch your back, stretch your knees, shins, tops of your feet. All right, come on back up to table. And we're going to bring left leg back, tuck the toes, right arm out this time. So you can stay here, hold it. If you want to bring the leg up, flex the foot, toes pointed down. And just give it a few breaths here. Try not to sink in the spine, hollow out the front of the body. And we'll go ahead and round and tuck your chin. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. This last one here. Inhale, lengthen, and then we'll go out to the diagonal with the arm and the leg. Right arm, right front diagonal, left leg back, left diagonal, and then back to center. Alright, so let's go ahead and tuck our toes and push back into a downward facing dog. So let's roll through our feet here, stretch the calves, shift the hips a little bit. So chin towards your chest, chest towards your thigh, heels towards the floor. If you need to bend your knees, you could. You could take your legs wider and bend your knees, but still lengthen the spine, chest towards the thighs. Give it a few breaths here. In and out through your nose, belly to throat. Walk your feet underneath you. Hands on your shins, inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. So the hips are high here. Chin is towards your chest. Weight is in the balls of the feet. You can bend your knees if you want to a little bit. Crown of the head going towards the ground. And bend your knees and come up with a flat back inhale. And heart center. Alright, so we'll do some sun salutations. So come to the front of your mat more, and if you want to have a block near you, you could. So let's start in mountain pose. So feet are underneath your hip bones, palms are forward or facing your thighs, shoulders over hips. Lift up your toes and feel the inner outer edges of your feet. So toes are pointed forward. Even if you have a toe pointed out just a little bit, the hips are already kind of going like this. So make sure your toes are pointed forward, right? So lifting up, when you put your feet down, grip those toes, lift up through the legs, feel those legs wrapping around. All right, so let's take a breath in. Breath out. Breath in, arms overhead. Breath, hands to heart center, exhale. And this one, come up If you want to do a little baby back bend, exhale, tighten the butt to protect the back. Reach forward, inhale, bend your knees if you need to. Forward fold, exhale. Hands under your shins, inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping back to your plank position, hollow out the front of the body. So we're going to stay here for a moment. And so hollow out the front of the body here. You can come to your knees if you want to, or come to your forearms, elbows underneath your shoulders. All the same alignment rules apply no matter which one you choose. So looking past the mat, head in line with the spine. Grip your fingers, hands underneath your shoulders. Creases of your elbows face each other. That's 2. Lift the pelvic floor. Belly button to spine. That's 3. Breathe. That's 4. Hollow out the front of the body. That's 5. Feel the energy from the crown of the head all the way to the tips of the toes. That's 6. Try to get the butt down as much as you can. That's 7. Hollow out the front of the body. That's 8. 9 and 10. Come on up to the toes. Drop to the knees. Hug the body with the elbows. Lower the floor. So we'll come up to Sphinx pose. So elbows underneath your shoulders and spread the legs. Tops of the feet facing the floor. Press the hips into the ground. Thighs, shins, tops of the feet. And nice lengthened here. Nice lengthened spine. Give it a few breaths. Alright, hands underneath your shoulders. Push back, tuck toes, hips up and back. Down dog. Downward facing dog. So spread your fingers, grip your floor, grip the floor. Externally rotate your shoulders, which just means you're going to point the elbow a little bit more towards the mat. Give it a few breaths here. In and out through your nose, belly to throat. All right, walk your feet underneath you. Hands under your shins, inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, come up with a flat back, inhale. Hands on heart center. Let's go again, inhale. Looking up at the thumbs or a little baby back bend, exhale. Reach forward, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. We're going to step back with the right leg into a runner's lunge. So you're going to check your knee-ankle alignment and then relax the knee into the floor, relax the foot into the floor. So we'll stay here in this lunge. If you wanted to use your block, you could. Hand under block underneath your shoulder. This is an assist there. Help the hips relax down a little bit. So make sure your knee is, you might have to walk your foot forward a little bit. You don't want your knee back like this. So if you need to walk your foot forward to get that knee-ankle line, you want to do that. So let's step back into a plank position. Hollow out the front of the body. We're not going to hold it this time. Coming up to the toes, drop to the knees, hug the body with the elbows, lower to the floor. This time we're going to do a modified cobra, which is going to lift the arms off the ground, palms down. Just lifting the chest. Legs stay on the ground. Tighten the butt. Breathe into the upper body and sides of the body. Hands underneath your shoulders. Push back. Tuck toes. Hips up and back. Down dog. You can always go to table or a child pose. Knees wide, big toes together. Set your hips back towards your heels. If you don't want to do the downward facing dog, give it 5 breaths here. And look at your hands. Bring your right foot through to where your hands are. Runner's lunge. We're going to drop that left knee into the floor. Relax the foot into the floor. Again, relax. You want to have your hand on your thigh, you can do that, or on your block. Push into the top of that left foot, that'll help. activate this left side and take weight out of the knee. All right, so shift your weight over your right leg. Bring your left leg to meet your right leg. Forward fold, exhale. Bend your knees, come up with a flat back, inhale. Hands to heart center. We'll do the other side, inhale. Maybe back bend, exhale. Reach forward, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Stepping back with the left leg this time. Runner's lunge, relax the knee into the floor, relax the foot into the floor. Stay here for a couple of breaths. All right, step back to your plank position. Hollow out the front of the body. Coming up to the toes. Drop to the knees, hug the body with the elbows, lower to the floor. Coming up to cobra, hands underneath your shoulders, lift the upper body. Elbows, hug the body. Give it a few breaths. If you don't like it that way, remember you can go back to hands up, palms down, lifting the upper body. All right, push back, tuck toes, hips up and back, down dog. Give it 5 breaths. In and out through your nose, belly to throat. Walk your feet underneath you. Hands on your shins, inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, come up with a flat back, inhale. Hands to heart center. One more round, take a breath in. Maybe back bend, exhale. Actually, we're going to go into, no we're not. Keep going, forward fold. We'll do that in a minute. All right, step back to your plank position. Hollow out the front of the body. Coming up to the toes, drop to the knees, hug the body with the elbows, lower to the floor, coming up to cobra or up dog. Arms a little bit straighter but not locked. Tighten the butt to protect the back. Tuck toes, hips up and back, down dog. Give it a few breaths here. Bring the right leg up, 3-legged dog. So we're going to open up the hip on this one, chest towards your thigh. You can bend the left knee if that feels better. And then swoop that leg through to where your hands are. Runner's lunge. So check your knee ankle alignment. We're going to step the back leg in just a little bit and walk up the leg for warrior one. So this warrior one, we're going to keep the toes pointed forward. Knees, knee over ankle. Hips in line, shoulders down. All right, come on back down. Go back to that plank position, hollow out the front of the body. Coming up to the toes, drop to the knees, hug the body with the elbows, lower to the floor, coming up to cobra or up dog. Tuck toes, hips up and back, down dog. Give it a few breaths. Remember, you always have child pose. You can go to if you don't want to do all the down dogs, or you could go to table and breathe. So remember your options. So we're going to bring the left leg up, open the hip, chest towards your thigh, 3-legged dog. Breathe, stretch. Now bring that left leg through to where your hands are, runner's lunge. So toes are pointed forward. We're in a runner's lunge, right? Not changing anything. We're just bringing that back foot in just a little bit and stepping and walking up the thigh for warrior one. If that arms are bothering you can bring your hands to heart center. If that bothers your shoulders, front knee, bend. If you want to bend the back knee too, you can bend the back knee. You can take a little bit wider base if that feels better. I should have said that first time around. All right, come on back down. Back to that plank position, last one. Make it a good one. Come up to the toes, drop to the knees. Hug the body with the elbows, lower to the floor, coming up to cobra or up dog. Tuck toes, hips up and back, down dog. Or child pose or table. Breathe 5 breaths. Walk your feet underneath you. Forward fold, exhale. Bend your knees, come over to flat back. Inhale. Hands to heart center. So let's turn our mats this way for this next little bit. So let's just start in a wide stance here. Toes are pointed forward. Standing wide-legged pose here. So think about the outer edges of your feet. Hands are on your hips. Shoulders are down. Grip your toes. Hips are underneath you. Feel a stretching in the legs. So let's just go ahead, hands on your hips, and bend your knees and come over with a flat back. So a wide forward fold now. So turn your toes in a little bit if you wanted to, widen your legs. You can bend your knees, crown of the head goes towards the ground, hips are high. So if you need to bend the knees a little bit, do that, right? You're going to bring the left hand to the center of the mat. And we're going to just open up to the right. Inhale. Now keep the hips and everything where they are. Bring the hand back to center. Open up to the left. Inhale. Arm comes overhead. But we start from the belly. So open up to the right. So you start up from the belly, the ribs, the chest, the shoulder, the head. And then come back. Open to the left. Inhale. And exhale back to center. So maybe walk the feet in just a tiny bit. And we're just going to lunge over to the right. So knee over ankle. This is super important. Make sure your knee is in line with that ankle, right? The left toes are pointed forward. Now we'll move over to the left side. Left knee is bent. Left knee over left ankle. Right toes are pointed forward. Right leg is straight. And just kind of move back and forth at your own pace here. Just nice, but take your time, right? Exhale when you go into the bend. Inhale straight, exhale bend. All right, so go ahead and go back to your straight legs there. We're going to bring the hands behind the head. Elbows are wide. And we're just going to move over. It's a pendulum stretch here. So we're just going to move over to the left leg. Our elbows, our hands are in the back of our head. Our elbows are open. And then go ahead and go center. Nice and slow. Move yourself to the right. Pendulum over to the right. And then back to center. So let's do that one more time. Go over to the left, taking about 3 breaths. Remember, if you need to bend your knees a little bit, that's fine. And then pendulum over to the right, nice and slow. Take your time. And back to center. Go ahead and bend those knees. Walk the feet in a little bit. Hands on your hips and come up with a flat back. Inhale. All right, so we're just going to do a standing forward bend. So we're going to put our hands, our elbows on our thighs, and this is just a resting pose. Point the hands, bring the hands together, point them down. Butt is back. And lengthening the spine. So just sitting here for a moment. We're activating the abs, but we get kind of a little rest at the same time. So elbows on your thighs, resting on those thighs. Let's give it a few breaths here. All right, go ahead and bring legs together. And we're going to do chair pose. So the butt is back. Arms can be out in front of you, palms down. They can be on your thighs if that felt better. So let's get 5 breaths, or next to your ears, whatever you want to do. 5 breaths in and out through your nose, belly to throat. The chair pose, butt is back, chest is lifted, shoulders down, knees over ankles. Weights in the heels of your feet, grip your toes. So now we're going to do a chair pose, but with a little bit of different. Bring the arms overhead, and then we're just going to sit it down. So we're not really too deep into chair here. About a 45 angle. Arms are overhead. Give it a few breaths. Go. And now we're going to do something called bear pose. So the feet are a little bit wide, and you're just going to set the hips back and reach forward. So nice lengthened spine, trying to get ourselves kind of deeper this time than we were before. Now, really getting into a big squat. The butt is way back, arms are stretched forward. Let that go. So we're going to turn to the right and step back with your left leg about a leg length, all right? Going into pyramid pose is what we're doing. So back foot's turned out just a little bit. So bring the arms overhead, take a breath in, come to a flat back, take a breath out. So these are all for the standing core and hip work is what we're working on right now. Go ahead and round over. So if you need to bend that front knee, you could. So the crown of the head is going towards the ground. So in this pose, you kind of have to pull back the right hip, push the left hip forward to keep those hips in line. All right, go ahead and bend the front knee and then just come up with a flat back. And we'll go to the other side. So you can pretty much just switch yourself here, facing to the left. You're stepping back about a leg's length. Back foot's turned out about 45 degrees. Bring the arms overhead. Take a breath in, come to a flat back, take a breath out. So arms are going out to the side. Airplane arms, palms down. Feel the energy going out the fingers, out the crown of the head, grounding through the floor with the feet. Breathing. Nice deep breath. Go ahead and round over for pyramid pose. So we are rounding the shoulders here, tucking the chin, gripping the feet, pulling the left hip back a little bit, pushing the right hip forward to keep those hips in line. Give it a few more breaths. And go ahead and bend that left knee and come up with the flat back. And just step in. All right, hands in your back pocket, and we'll just open up the heart. So starting from the belly, open, 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 open. And bring those shoulder blades back towards one another. Hands like in your deep pocket. Activate your abs. Ground through your feet, lift your toes. Lift the chest, lift the heart. Breathe, deep breath. And let that go. All right, so let's do a balance. So we're going to bring the left. You can just you can lift your heel on this balance, and then we're gonna twist. So you can put your hand on your thigh and twist, and that could be your balance right there. Right? You can bring your arms out to the side, Or you can bring the knee up. We can bring the knee up like this. And then twist to the right. So you can use that left hand, put it on the outside of the right thigh. If you ever have to come back down, just come back down and go back on the ball of the foot and then reset. So the hips, knees, everything is facing forward. We're twisting from the waist to the right. Right hand is back behind us or at our hip, whatever works. All right, come back to center, shake it out a little bit. I'll try the other side. So lift the left heel, and again, you can twist to the left. You could bring that arm back. You can bring the arms out. One front, right arm front, left arm back, right? You can stay there with that left heel open, or you can lift the knee up and put that right hand on the outside of the left thigh and then twist to the left. You can bring that left hand back. It's a good counterbalance. Left hand reaching back. Again, if you get wobbly, just come back to your base with the foot heel up. Find your focal point. That's going to help you a lot. And back to center. Well, let's go to the ground. Take a breath in. Come over, take a breath out. Grab your elbows, do a little ragdoll. Stretch. And come on down to the ground. So, let's do our back series. So this is a back series from hot yoga, from the Ghosh lineage. So it's an old series. So palm next to your thighs, on your forehead, and push your hips into the floor. Squeeze your butt. Let's just stay here for just a second. Just get used to being on your belly for a minute. If you want to, go ahead and bring your arms underneath you for a crocodile pose. So bend the elbows, palms, head on the hands, palms down. Just getting used to being on our belly now. We've been up on our feet for a while. Activating those abs a little bit here. The navel in a little bit. Pressing the hips and thighs active into the ground. Broadening the back. Crocodile pose. Alright, so now let's come back, palms down. We're on our forehead now. Palms down next to your thighs. Push your hips into the floor and lift the upper back. So we're still breathing here. You can breathe in the upper back, sides of the body, not too much in the belly. All right, come on down and lay on your cheekbone. Round your shoulders towards the mat. Palms are up now. And just relax. So really try to remember to round those shoulders towards the mat because that gives you a little decompression in the lower spine. Kind of stretches you out a little bit. All right, coming back to the forehead. Palms are down again next to the thighs. Push the hips into the floor. Squeeze the butt. Lift the upper body. This time, either press the big ball behind or clasp hands. And we're going to open up the shoulder to the right. Inhale. And then back to center. Exhale. Open the left shoulder to the left. Look over that left shoulder if it feels okay. And then back to center. Let's do this 3 times. Inhale to the right. Open that right shoulder. Back to center. Exhale. Twisting to the left. Breathe in. And back to center. Opening to the right. Inhale. Back to center. Opening to the left. And back to center. Go ahead and lay on your cheekbone again. Round your shoulders towards the mat. The palms are up. And just let go and relax wherever you can. And noticing those feelings of letting go as opposed to the holding. And taking that letting go feeling off the mat. into our everyday lives. All right. So coming back onto the chin this time. So watch for where to put the hand. So we're going to do locust position here. So the hands can go underneath the upper thighs, palms down, and then you snuggle your elbows in and push your hips down. And you might see that that's not so great for your wrist. If that's true, then you can turn your palms up, make a fist, and then put those underneath your upper thighs. So either way, fists up, palms up, or palms down, spread the hands. So pick your way. So press your hips into the floor, we're on our chin, and bring up your right leg. So top of the foot still facing the floor, hip is neutral. Breathe, isolate right where the thigh and the butt meet, pushing the hips down into the ground. Breathe. And put that leg down, let's bring the left leg up, push the hips down, they're gonna wanna come up. Top of the foot faces the ground. Let your hands help you a little bit. Push into those hands. And let that go. And we'll bring the hands out and lift the upper body and the lower body. Palms are out, reaching back. You could look forward or you could look down at the mat. Just keep the head in line with the spine. And let that go. Go ahead and put your hands underneath your chin. Bring your knees up your feet up and windshield wiper your feet. A little lower back stretch there. So let's do bow pose, and I'm going to show you a lot of different modifications for that. So you can leave your ankles over your knees. Feet are flexed. You can reach back for your ankles, but flex your feet, right? Feet towards the ceiling, shin towards the back wall. If you want to grab the feet, still flex the feet. Grab the ankles, still flex the feet, lift the upper body. If you want to go into full bow, lift the thighs, but do what's right for your back. If you feel any pinpointed dull, achy sensation, that's not it. Back up until you feel okay. And if it's not working, go to child pose, because that's where we're going next. All right, go ahead and let go of that. Hands underneath your chin, windshield wiper your feet, and then push back to child pose. Knees wide. Thank you. See you later. Back to child pose. Hips back toward your heels. And we'll let that go. All right, so let's come on to our backs and just bring your knees towards your chest. Rock a little bit here. I think I'm going to turn this way so you guys can see. So we're going to use our strap here for a second to stretch our hip flexors. So let's roll over onto our right side. And you're going to put your arm over your head and lay your head on your arm. But first, before you do that, do this. So you might need to use a strap. You're going to bring the knee, you're in a fetal position, you're going to bring the knee towards the chest, stretching the thighs. Grab the leg and then pull the thigh back, right? And you're laying on the thigh. So if you want to use a strap, you're going to strap the ball the top of the foot, and then bring the knee in close to the chest, and then bring the thigh back with the strap. Strapping the top of the foot. And you can lay on the side of the body, really almost rolling forward a little bit. We're on the side, we're a little bit rolling forward to give ourselves that counterbalance. And that hand is extended, right arm's extended overhead, laying our head on our arm for this hip flexor stretch. Alright, let that go. And let's go ahead and do our trunk twist while we're on this side. So go ahead and get into a fetal position. So you want to stack everything, knees, ankles, hips. Bring the arms out in front of you. Tuck your shoulders, line up your shoulders. So you clap your hands out in front of you. Get your shoulders all lined up too. And you're going to bring the left hand to the left ribs. And if you wanted to hold your knees together with your right hand, you could. We're going to do a trunk twist going to the left. So take a breath in. As you take a breath out, we're going to move to the left, starting from the navel, the ribs, the chest, the shoulder, the head, and the arm. Palm up. So think about your shoulder here. If the bottom of your shoulder have the arm extended, you could bring your hand down towards your butt or back to your ribs. Now, if you wanted to get deeper into the lower back, you could straighten the top leg and just lay it on top of the other leg. Relax it on top of the other leg. The knees are still in line here. And give it a few breaths. If you wanted to straighten both legs, you could straighten both legs, but make sure the ankles are in line, the knees are in line, and you can hold the thighs together with your right hand if you wanted to, trying to keep everything together. We're not trying to force anything, and if anything feels painful or anything, we back up until we don't feel that. So to come out of that, if you have your legs extended, bend the bottom leg first, then the top leg, and then bring the left arm back over, and you stay in the fetal position here for a couple of breaths. All right, so roll over onto your back and over to the other side. So we're going to do that hip flexor stretch first. So have your strap if you need it here. So you can bring your knee up towards your chest and grab the top of the foot and then bring that right knee back, right? And lay on your left arm extended overhead. You can do it that way. If you need a strap, you're going to strap the top of the right foot and then pull the strap behind you and then pull the thigh back and the knee back. And you're on your side, but you're kind of almost rolling a little bit forward just to give yourself that kind of leverage. Pull the knee back, but no pain, right? Just getting a nice thigh hip flexor stretch. All right, let that go. And bring your knees into fetal position. So we're going to do a trunk twist. So line up your shoulders, line up your knees and your ankles. We're on the left side. And bring your right hand to your right ribs. If you want to hold down the legs together with the left hand, you could. Take a breath in. As you take a breath out, we're moving to the right, starting from the navel, the ribs, the chest, the shoulders, and the head and the arm. Give it a few breaths here. So notice your shoulders. You need to bring the arm, palm is up. You need to bring the arm more towards the butt or back to the ribs. If you want to extend the top leg, relax it. Just make sure your knees stay in line. Just lay that leg on top of the other leg. Relax. Breathe into that. If you want to straighten both legs, you can straighten both legs. Just line up those ankles, heels, ankles, knees, and hips. To your side in the fetal position. Stay here for a couple of breaths. And let that go. Come on to your back. And bring your knees to your chest and rock a little bit. And one more pose for the hips here. So we're just going to bring the legs up, happy baby pose. So you can grab anywhere along the leg. Take the legs wide. You can grab the outside of the leg, the foot, but not the inside of the foot, because you don't want to mess up the knee-ankle alignment, or anywhere along the calves or the thigh. And you're going to bring the knees down to the outside of the ribs, like feet walking on the ceiling, feet flexed. And we're keeping the tailbone down. So don't lift the butt up. Keep the tailbone down. And if you want to rock a little bit, do it nice and slow. Just take your time. See how that feels. Breathe into any tight places. This one here is nice. If you take your time, you can really maybe hit some of these places with some pressure that you are applying to the back right now. So might help open up some places in your back, your hips here. And let that go. So moving into our last pose today, we're going to do Savasana. So we're going to take the legs wider than the hips. Just let the feet fall out to the side. Palms are up towards the sky. Tuck the shoulders underneath you. And just try to take a couple of deep breaths, a big sigh, just to start to release the body into the ground. With each breath, just letting go a little bit more, releasing into the earth. Palms are up, away from your thighs. Now, if this position hurts your back, you can always bring the knees up and pigeon toe the toes and let your knees fall together, and that'll help the lower back press into the ground more. So find that place where you can be still and aligned and relaxed. Softening the facial muscles, eyebrow, eyelid, smooth across the forehead and the cheekbones, relaxing the jaw, softening the shoulders, elbows, wrists and fingers, relaxing the upper back, middle back, lower back, and the hips into the ground. Legs are feeling very open, relaxed, soft. Toes are turned out like the thighs, just letting them feel open, and the feet are soft and relaxed. Third eye, or a little bit above between the eyebrows. Breathe into that space to calm thoughts. Can't turn the thoughts off, but we can slow them down, give them less importance. Movement to your fingers and your toes. Circle your ankles, wrists, any movement that feels good. Wake up the body. When you're ready, rock. Bring your knees toward your chest and rock a little bit. When you're ready, rock over to the right or to the left.